Mr. Dow founded the John Dow Foundation. Oh, let's see. A special thank you to our institutional advancement team, I don't want to forget them, the Performing Arts Center team, our videographer for tonight, Andrew Cation, and I especially appreciate the support and encouragement from my colleagues and staff members in the Psychological Science Department who assisted me in the process of bringing John from Virginia to be with us here tonight. Mr. Dow founded the John Dow Foundation, focusing on healthcare, and has been a voice for peace and reconciliation. He has received many prestigious awards, including the National Geographic Emerging Explorers Award, a Volvo for Life finalist in the Quality of Life category, which carried a financial contribution to the John Dow Foundation, a World Economic Forum Young Global Leader for 2008, and together with former Secretary of State General Colin Powell, he received a Most Caring Award from the Caring Institute. Through the John Dow Foundation, Saving Lives in South Sudan, he has raised more than $6 million to build and run Duke Lost Boys Clinic and 10 other clinics in his home village of Duke Pauel and Jonglei State, South Sudan. Please take a moment to visit the table in our lobby that has more information on his foundation and the Lost Boys Centers here in Phoenix. Many years ago, I began showing the award-winning documentary, God Grew Tired of Us, that highlights the experience of the Sudanese lost boys and girls. My goal was to teach concepts that relate to cultural psychology. I underestimated, though, the powerful impact that this story of survival would have on me and all of the students who watched this documentary. John's life story is a remarkable journey of resilience and hope. In spite of the incredible challenges and adversities he has faced, he emerged as a beacon of inspiration. His experiences have shaped him into a passionate advocate and humanitarian, deeply committed to making a difference in the lives of others. John's work, both in the United States and South Sudan, has been a testament to the power of perseverance and the human spirit. I would also like to introduce, I have Jani Deng and Kawal Awan. Would you mind standing up? Thank you. These amazing men have devoted their lives to helping other people. I had the opportunity to visit Kawal in the West Valley today and to see a lot of the wonderful things that he is doing. And I'm so impressed that these men are paying it forward, as they like to say, to help not only people here in the US, but in Southern Sudan. And they devote so much of their time and effort. Please join me in warmly welcoming a man of great courage and heart, Mr. John Boldow.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. How are you? Wonderful. I am so blessed to be here and, be back to Arizona after 20 years. I have been here 2004. Probably some of you might have not been born at that time. But here I am when I was getting ready, putting things in my bag, putting my coats and sweaters and so on, and my wife said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to Arizona." She said, "No, don't you know Arizona is a desert, And I said, "Oh, well, I forgot it was, 20 years ago." So thank you for inviting me and actually ordered such a wonderful weather today. That was really beautiful outside. Don't you agree to that? Yeah, because I came here in August. It was extremely hot. I remember my best friend called here and Jan, who, we were organizing a conference of the lost boy, lost girl here. And at that time, I was coming from New York. It was really, sort of spoiled there. And so when we got here, it was really from the hotel to the conference hall, it was just unbelievable. It was so hot. But today, it's good. I'm going to go back home, say that Arizona's good. So thank you very much for your time and coming here. I know many of you here are student. Student. How many a student here? Yes, great. Like almost 80% of you here are student. And how many students are here from a community college? I know Meza, of course, I've been here today. Wonderful. Don't you think you guys are so lucky? Yes, sir. You are. Because I think Kuala and I and Jan there, when we came here, we went to community college. To me, in community college here are the incubators. They incubate you because folks there, the teachers there are not just teachers, but also they're counselors too. They help you like cultural counselors. They walk you through. They know you came from somewhere else and maybe your English might not be as clear as possible. So they keep guessing. Oh, you say this, you mean this. That is good because they have time. They have time that they can invest in you. What a wonderful system. Whoever came up with that idea of having community colleges in the United States is the genius. It's a genius because this is where, everyone is supported, They don't run quickly and so on. So you folks there at Mesa Community College here, so thank you so very much for doing that. And I would like to thank you, Mia. I call Mia because in South Sudanese culture, first name is very, very important. And so you here, you call people on their last name. So Mia, with your team, the head of your department, and all those involved, thank you very much for bringing me here. It was not, simple, but you work hard to make it happen. So thank you very much. The reason why I came here, Mia actually persuaded me, but why I came here really is to share with you what I call a living testimony. Testimonies are things that I think once you share a testimony, it might help somebody. In my case, it helped me. When I hear you talking, sharing something, your life story or something like that, these are testimonies are very important. And this testimony that I'm going to share with you is not mine. It belongs to my brother Kwal there, my brother Jan there, and some other South Sudanese might be here, among you here. It's a story of resilience. It's a story that started in a sort of a little difficult. But then as we go through that, and then maybe at the end, it became that story of resilience, knowing the story of the lost boys and lost girl. Before I tell you this story, maybe some of you do not know how people like us are brought up. What do you do? What is really a life in the village? I mean, especially a village in South Sudan. What do you do? What does a child do? What do you do as a woman or a man? Anybody? So let me explain a little bit. So when you are in the village, for example, my village when I was there was no schools, there were no clinics, there were no any piece of civilization. That means there's no car, no road, nothing there. Because there's no schools, people did not stop learning. I remember when you're about 5 to 7, you have a duty. Something is given to you by your mom or your dad. You got to do this. So, for example, a boy, you make sure you take care of chicken. You protect your chickens from being eaten by bobcats or foxes. That's your job. Make sure your hens, your chicken, come back and take care of them. That's your duty. But as you progress too, get from age 9 to age age 7 to age 9 years and so, then you are transitioned from taking care of chicken to taking care of goats. So you go into the jungles, a nearby boys in the neighborhood, they come together, bring the goats and sheep together, and then you drive them far away, and then make sure hyenas or leopard don't eat them. You protect them outside there. As you do there, those boys are together, they're telling stories, they're helping each other, we're learning. And as you grows to be about maybe 10 to 15 years old, then you transition from taking care of goat to taking care of cows. This is where, you've been hearing that, people are fighting lions and so on. That's what you do. Your mom or your dad or your uncle give you a weapon that you can protect them. As we do these kind of things, you do it day out. And as you're doing it, you're learning. You're learning community values. You're learning way to work hard. You're learning how to respect people. You're learning how to, do things and all this kind of thing. That's what you do here in America. It's something different. You have this big something called classroom, and then you have somebody called a teacher, and then write something on the board, and then teach them, and then later they go home. But the way we do it is different. Hand on, do this, do that, do that. But all of it is the same thing. We're teaching our children, to be the next leader, to be, next adult that could change their country and so on. So that is what three of us here, we went through that. And so ours was education. The same thing to girls, young girls. They go there, get firewood, get water, walk a long distance, carrying water on their head. As they do that, the community values are instilled in them by older women, grandmas. In the United States, I don't see grandmas staying with their, sometimes they are put away and say, hey, they're getting old, so they're going to go to a place called nursing home. And so I'm not against nursing home, but why do you do that? Why do you rip off the fabric of the foundation of your family? It's with the older people, So this is how our family, our village is. That's alive in the village. It looked like that. But then, that, as I describe it, is something very important. But then the war came to our villages. The war came to our villages. It didn't come at once. Because the northern Sudan and southern Sudanese, sort of like stratified, like the northern part are the one controlling the government, controlling the resources, whereas the southerners have been denied, there's no development and so on. So the war, for whatever reason, all of the above reason, war started. As the government deployed their tactics, counter-insurgent in the south, then they start fighting. They go to a village, put it down, shoot people, kill people, abduct women, doing all this kind of thing. It didn't get. So they've been attacking villages after village. But we can tell something was about to happen. I can tell adults are depressed. I can tell something is about to happen. One day, my village was attacked. It was attacked in the middle of night. It was my mother calling outside, Mit Bakbe, that's a Dinka statement saying, children, get out. As we got out, I was the first to get out. And then I saw somebody running across of our home compound. I thought it was my dad. So I was running after this man for a few minutes as I was trying to catch up. This is total darkness. There's no electricity, nothing. So the guy that I thought was my dad dodged into the grass. And I was coming by him, he grabbed my right arm and pulled me in the grass. A long line of troops were coming, shooting, burning houses, abducting anybody, girls especially, took our cows and goats and everything. And that's why I describe it, it was as if God got tired of us. Why did God allow other people, to mow us down like that? So the guy that I thought was my father, it turned out to be a neighbor. His His name is Abraham Deng Niop. Abraham and I kept hiding there, as you could see everywhere in the village, up in flame. And so that morning, Abraham and I, we kept running. We kept going toward the eastern part. And so we kept going. As we go, we went out for about two days with, no food. I mean, I was so hungry, thinking about my mom and thinking about everything and what am I going to eat. But we were running. Almost 2 days there. Later, Abraham dug a plant called amoiro out. It has a big root. We ate it. It tastes like apple. That was our first food after almost 2 days. In the United States, you go for a day without food, you say you're going to die, But we kept going. Abraham and I and others, we kept going now by this time it is clear there were these SPLA, Sudan People Liberation Army. They went to Ethiopia. And so we heard that going to Ethiopia, there is relative peace there. And so we kept going there, I guess, and others, as we kept going, we have to go through communities. In my turn, we were going through this community called Murle. And so the Murle, some of them were actually allied with the government, and so we're trying to avoid them. At night, we travel at night. When we know that this is their home, so we travel at night. Sometimes we hide in the daytime, in the jungle. Something to eat was very difficult. So we just go into abandoned home. We could find pumpkins or find beans, things like that. Life became very difficult. You're being hit by no food, with being so tired, you don't know where to go. I remember sleeping together at night. There was no blanket, so you sleep next to each other so you can give each other warm. And as we go looking for water, you listen to the sound of frogs making noise at night, then you know this is the direction. Maybe in the morning, you can go and find water. So we deployed ideas and strategy to survive. Along the way there, some didn't make it. So we came through the Murle area there. We came to a place called By this time now, we are about a month from home. We are about a month now. We are in the middle of our journey. But this time we were in Murle. We passed a place called Pibor. We came to a place called Kongkong. In Kongkong there, we thought there would be water there. So by the time, I think we were about 27 of us, I think. By the time we got there were so many boys as well. So we got a big group there. So we thought there would be water there. There was no water. A desperation of thirst got in. Nobody helped you. I mean, people are crying. They want to drink water. There's no way you can find water. We have somebody else to urinate, to drink urine. That even didn't help. So we kept going. Now, by this time, you are on your own. By the time that day, by the time we get to muddy water, only few of us survived. And some died along the way because of thirst. From then, we got into another place. We're now about to cross the Murle area. So we're getting into another tribe called Anuak. There in Anuak, we came to a place called Pochala, a little bit almost to Pachala. We found out that the Anuak people have killed an elephant. So we went there to beg them for food, give us some meat, elephant meat. So I remember we went there, and then one of the, I think, younger guy among them, they chased us away. We ran away, and then we stand far away from them. And looking, there's no way, we got to get something to eat. I think an older man, said, come. We couldn't speak the same language, but make gestures that we could come. So we came very cautiously. So we gave a big chunk of elephant meat. We're very happy. We cook it for hours, take time for elephant meat to cook. But we didn't have a knife to cut it. So I remember I got the chunk of this elephant meat, tear it with my teeth, gave it to that person, did the same thing. So I tear it and give it to the other person until we got enough of this elephant meat. That was our best food after we left home, you know. So we put some of the meat away. So we went through Anuak. Anuak people were very good. They didn't, mistreat us or kill us, but they didn't give us anything. Sometimes you go and work for food, like they would say, cut this grass, you cut that grass, then they give you one cup of corn, But it was good, so we went through Anuak as well. Then the number of the boys and girls, then we sort of conversed there. And so we were going now so we crossed the border, now crossed into Ethiopia. Now, when we got there, the Ethiopian, the authority said, you see that jungle? Go there to that jungle and live there, make it as home. So we went there. I think, you can remember. We went there and stayed under trees for a while, few weeks, And then we started building our own houses by climbing to a branch of a tree, and then you break it down, so then we start building our own houses. Now, as the number of boys were coming, we lost our families, so we create our own families as well. 50 people become as a family. We call it a group. And then some of the boys were coming to this group. I remember our group, it's about 1,200 in our group. I was older, so we were helping others as well. Some of the older guys like myself picked to be leaders of these group, these little communities we have created. And I remember in our group, these boys are crying every day. They want to drink milk, they want to see their mom, they want to eat food. We lied to them that tomorrow will be best, tomorrow will be better. Today is bad, tomorrow will be better. So we're trying to give our brothers some sort of hope so they can hope for tomorrow. And we didn't give up. Diseases such as measles, chickenpox, wolfing cough, and cholera then start killing boys, killing many. I remember in our group about 2 to 3 boys dying every day. We could take their bodies, bury them in shallow grave. We have no energy to dig deep grave, And I still remember when we come back the next day to bury the bodies of some more boys, we could find the bodies of those we buried previous day eaten by wild animals such as hyena. It was very, very graphic part of our life story there. You could see. So life was getting difficult and difficult. There was no food. Then the United Nations agencies heard about us. Then they start coming. The UNHCR, the World Food Program, the World Vision, they start coming. And as they came, they start bringing some food. What kind of food? It's a dry corn. They're given to you, and that's it. So either you just cook it, boil it, and then eat it. No nutritious, things to be added into it. But we're okay. And then they start bringing some second-hand clothes. I remember that. They're bringing in big bag here. I think that's what you do when your children overgrow clothes. That's what we do. I'm a father now. So then you send these clothes to maybe where you donate them, and these clothes made their way to refugee camp as well. So I remember, so in our group, they brought some clothes, second-hand clothes, and the way to do that is, so there is this bag, you put your hand in it, and then say whatever you can grab, whatever you can hold, pull it out, only one. Then you pull it out, and then say, oh. And then so my turn, I pull out something I know that belonged to a girl, like a shirt, a white shirt. Because it belonged to a girl, because I have some decoration here, have a lipstick, so when you pull it. So I pull it out. It was just nice. So I was just so proudly wearing that girl clothes. That was my first clothes right there. And then they start distributing quill, which I actually know that the LDS folks here make those quills, like 3 layers, 4 layers. Squall, I think you remember when we rip up part of it, then sew it to become your underwear or your short. I mean, it was good that we're getting something that can close us, can cover us. Sometimes you could see people wrapping blanket around and then move around daytime, and then at nighttime, you lay down part of it, you lay on part of it, and then the other part you cover yourself with. It was beautiful. We're getting somewhere. I mean, then they built a very small clinic there. Our life was getting better. By this time now, we were about 3 years in Ethiopia. 1990, and then another problem happened. I mean, by that time, we were getting better, getting more food. Our life was getting really better. And then another problem happened. The government of Ethiopia, which was good to us, was quickly overthrown by the Ethiopian rebel based in northern Sudan. Now, these are allies of the north, have taken over the government. That was supported by the United States. So this guy kicked us out. He said, "You guys, get out of our country." Now, the number of the lost boys and girls in Samadol, we became 27,000 of us. And we were trying to move back to South Sudan. There were no vehicle. There were no, buses that can bus us across the border. So we have to start our journey now, going back to South Sudan. And then we have to cross some rivers, like Gilo River. As we were coming to Gilo, cross, the river. Then this river Gilo is widened, and then the water running so fast, and so some of us did not know how to swim. And then we stopped there. We're trying to find a way to tie a rope to a tree on one side of the river and then to the other side. For those who do not know how to swim can cross. That plan didn't work out, actually. It took us 3 days, but all of a sudden, the new government of Ethiopia sent troops after us. One day, they opened fire on us, killing some of the boys and girls. Others dive into the water. It was complete, desperation right there. Some were shot and killed. Others lost. Others eaten by crocodiles. Others captured and so on. For me, I did not know how to swim. But you know what happened? I said, "Oh no, they will." So I dived into the water. I went down, and then for whatever reason, I think God gave me an idea, and then I'm doing the backstroking. I never did that before, but then I was progressing. So a Nubian guy, and he said, Sadiana, that is an Arabic word. I said, help me. He leaped and dived into me, and we all went underwater. I said, that's it, I'm gonna die now. As we struggling, I was trying to get back, I was trying to, and then somehow in these confusions, we found ourselves on the surface again, and then we went back again. And as we've been doing this, somehow I crossed the river. And then when I stand up, the water is just like on my thigh here. I waded out and I ran, disappeared into the grass. And then they were shooting us, and so on. There was total destruction right there. So those who survived, Kual, Jan, myself, and others, those who survived would then, went to Pochala, went back to Pochala. Remember the place where we got elephant meat. So we went there, and then we started. This Pochala was controlled by Sudan People Liberation Army, and so these people welcomed us, and they gave us food, and then we all ran out of food in a few weeks. And then we start selling our clothes for food. Give it to Anuak so they can give us food. So it will be Kual t-shirt today we sell, and tomorrow will be my white woman shirt to sell until we all sold our clothes. We remain naked with nothing to cover ourselves. Then we start selling blanket. 9 months there. Then we decided, this, because being bombed by the Sudan, they knew that we are back in that area, and they bomb us twice a day using Antonov. This is a Russian-made aircraft. Bomb us, killing some of the boys and girls. Then we decided to move away from that. Now we set another journey. into a place called Kapoita. So along the way, some of the boys died because of starvation, thirst, and disease, and some were abducted by the local community there because you are abducted, kill you, they use your body as a bite for a leopard, because they kill a leopard and then use a leopard skin for dowry. That's what they do, the Anuak community. And so they reduce us to our body to, be used to kill a leopard there. So the number of the Lost Boys is like the schools of fish in the ocean where you could see Chuck grab them and the bird above dive and grab them. So our number was bigger and then getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So we got to that place called Kapoita. Few weeks there, we went to another place called Nairus, and then we were attacked from there. We were told that attack is coming, so we crossed to another country called Kenya. And that was 1992. At that time, I was 17 years old. Then we came to this place called Lokchokio, and then they moved us to what is known as the largest refugee camp today, known as Kakuma. So in Kakuma, it was desert, nothing there. And then we start living there. And then great thing that happened is that they start schools. Our schools, I think you guys remember, our school under trees. So you have a teacher, that teacher will say, that tree is my classroom, and another tree is my classroom, and so on. So we sit under the tree, on the dirt, using our fingers as pencil to write your exam. So we were very happy that we're getting education. We said, education is my mother and my father. That was our slogan. A slogan said that education is my mother because I help you, I give you food, because mothers are associated with feeding you. So education can feed you. While as education is your dad to protect you from harm. That's why we said education is my mother and my father. We're getting there. We work hard. At night, when it is clear, we use moonlight to read, give each other examinations. So we work hard. If you don't get good grade, you cannot be promoted. So I still remember when we, 7 of us used to read together. I think that's what you do in school here. You study together. I remember we pretend it will be my turn to be a teacher. And then I'll give people dictation, which means I said, write fire, write floor, write this, write that. And then we agree that I, as a teacher, I'm going to get a stick. So if you miss 4, then you have to give your hand like this. And then I get that stick and hit you 1, 2, until 4. It's very painful. But I don't complain because it will be my turn to be a teacher. When it is my turn to be a teacher, then I'll line them up, and then I'll give them something that is very difficult for them to get. Or I would say, what is the number in the alphabet, A to Z, what is the number K? So I'm just trying, it's number 11, right? So you count that it's number 11. This is not what the teachers give you, but what I want to do, I want to revenge. So they come, then when they miss something, I line them up, I get a stick, and I hit them, hit their hand. And that's how we force ourselves to learn, Teachers do their part, we ourselves, we do our part. Because if you do well, you can be promoted, leave under a tree class, you can go to a room. That was really, really good. Or a teacher who can give you a gift. What is the gift? It's like a notebook here. We call exercise book. Cut it into 2. Notebook, cut into 2. Then give it to that person, did very well. Give it to another person that did well. And a pencil, typical pencil, cut into 2 or cut into 3. And give it to those who did good. Because you now graduate from using your finger to using a pencil. It was something very good. So we did that. Kakuma was beautiful. Alive, hunger was still there, but still alive was getting better until 2000, when I was in my 12th grade. Then we were told I think there's a time when President Bush was elected here, we were told that Americans are coming to take you to America. They came, my first time to see this tall American guy with long noses, They speak English was very difficult for us to understand, but what they were telling us, they would take us to America. Really, we didn't believe that we were going to come to America. Others are saying, yeah, you're going to go to America. They start doing paperwork, taking some of the boys and girls to Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya, and then some came to America. We said, we're going to go to America. And now, topic about America, the perception about America, it kick in. People, when you see people talking, they think they know America. They talk about America. They said, John, if you go to America, it's okay to be lazy. Because if you are lazy in America, the American people will, they tie something called green card around your neck. And you just show up at any restaurant, and the owner of the restaurant says, oh yeah, you are a refugee, welcome, come and eat, come and eat for free. I said, wow, that's the country I want to go. I would like to eat for free. While others say, John, if you go to America, they have a very good technology in America. And the technology they have, even in the restaurant, you don't need somebody to serve you. All what you get is a big table. You go there, sit in front of a big table, and then there are some buttons. There's chicken button, beef button, vegetable button. So you want to eat chicken, you just push chicken button, and chicken coming rolling from nowhere. And I say, wow, this is a country I like to go, really. Others were saying, John, be careful when you go to America, because American girls are crazy. And he said, how crazy they are. He said, every girl in America, John, they carry a small bag. And said, do you know what is in those bags? I said, no. They said, they have guns in it. So you mess up with American girls, shoot and kill you, And I said, this country, you have chicken button and women are killing people. What am I going to do? Anyway, my name came out of the board and said, Johnny, you're going to Syracuse, New York. I said, okay. If it is because American girls, I'll stay away from them, We've flown to Europe and then to JFK, and then from JFK to Syracuse, New York. There were people from our church who were waiting for us. I remember, flying over the land. I can see like a fire. That was night. I can see like a fire. I said, what happened? I didn't know that they have electricity. All of this lights up everything. When we get to the airport there were three of us, Andrew, Jacob, and myself. And there were 14 people from our church. They were waiting for us. As we merged out of the corridor, they ran up to me. And said, hey, John, I think they know we're very dark skin and skinny. These are from Africa, exactly. As they ran up to us and they greet us. And they're very nice people, But there were 4 girls there. I didn't want to go and hug those girls. I thought I messed them up and shoot and kill me. So they took us to our apartment, which actually saw from the movie there. Later, they show how to turn on light. You twist it this way, you push it that way, John, you do this. And showing us this is hot water, this is cold water, this is what you can put in a refrigerator, this you cannot, things like that. It took them the entire day for them to give us orientations. And before they go home, Susan Myers and Penny Allen, they said, John, let us take you to show you how to buy grocery store. In the grocery store, how to buy your groceries. I said, okay, let's go. So we came there, coming, and there's this giant, big grocery store. And we're coming closer and closer, and a magic door opened itself like this. I said, wow. I said, American people are really very lazy, and that's why they But I didn't want to tell these women. I thought they will be mad and shoot and kill me. So we went inside this grocery store. I got to tell you, lots of food. You go up on aisles of this food. And I said, the country is so wealthy, even animal own aisles, like cat aisles and dog aisles. What is it? So they said, John, so we went around, we saw something like milk, like this, refrigerator outside there, that preached there at the back. And I asked Susan, had that milk? And she said, yes. I said, from a cow. She said, yeah. And I couldn't see cow anyway, and she said, yes. I said, okay. So we went there, and then I grabbed 2 gallons of milk and put it in a tray. And Jacob did the same thing, 2 gallons of milk. And Andrew did the same thing. 6 gallons of milk right there. And these women are looking at each other and say, what are they going to do? And because in America, here people don't want to embarrass you. They look at it, okay, so boys, is that what you want? We say, yes. They say, you don't want to buy anything else? We say, no. They say, okay. So we went there, we checked them out, and I could not really wait. We went to our apartment, it was just closer. I could not wait for this American to leave. And then they said, okay, boys, we will come back on Sunday to pick you. I say, okay, good. Close the door, and then we'll start drinking our milk. We've been drinking this milk for like a week with no food because we haven't been drinking milk since 1987, and we love milk. We keep cows and so on. Anyway, at that time, it became October. And then there was, and these people have been saying, hey, snow is coming. These Sudanese, snow is coming. Well, we didn't really pay attention. What is snow? And they're buying all these ugly stuff like coats and boots and gloves and hats. We didn't know that actually clothes change based on the seasons, And so they've been giving out this. So there was snow at East Syracuse, at Syracuse University around there. And so Cindy from her, she said, John, let me take you to see snow for the first time. I said, yay. Jump into her car. We went there. It was something white. I just grabbed a bunch of snow and squeezed it. It turned into water. And then she grabbed a bunch of snow as a snowball and threw it at me. So I did the same thing. We were exchanging snowball for a few minutes. I felt my hand is numb. I said, no, let's go home. And she said, yes, okay. So what I did, I gathered a bunch of snow, like big snow like this, and put it in the trunk of her car. And we drove home. And lucky enough, the snow's still intact. So I got it out. I said, Andrew and Jacob, come and see. And they look at it. Well, we decided we took it inside and put it on our dining table, Then the snow started melting. That was a very stupid thing to do, but, that's, sort of American, being introduced into American life there. And then from there, our honeymoon finished, which means 3 months. People help us, they pay for our apartment and so on. But after that 3 months, we're all done. We gotta have to start working. I think my job at McDonald's, grilling hamburgers, doing dishes at McDonald's, and then work as a security guard, 2 jobs. Remember we didn't have license, so buses take us. I remember Andrew and I and Jacob, we would go there, we work at a place called Gasket. And then we produce gasket there. So because we didn't have a car, we'd go there early. Bus bring us about 7 in the morning or almost 6, around 6 there. And then that Syracuse snow. So we bring extra blanket. So you remember, where there are these wooden benches that are normally outside, where, staff eat and so on. So we sit there. 3 of us, we could sit next, in circle, and then put blanket over us, and then snow and snow and snow until the place is open around 8. And then we could take off the blanket with snow. Then we go inside and then change our clothes into dry clothes and then do the work, and then work. That's what we used to do. Life got difficult a little bit in the United States, and then work hard. Then, I said, what am I going to do here? These jobs are not taking me anywhere. I enrolled at Onondaga Community College, OCC. Finished my my associate degree there, transferred to Syracuse University, finished my bachelor's degree there. And I said, although this tough life here in the United States, America, has been such a wonderful place. So what am I going to do? I've been given all the thing I have. I'm able to work. I'm not running away from being attacked by this and that. And here I am, very, very, very safe and secure. And so I said, I'm going to give back. This is when my humanitarian work started. My humanitarian work started with the Lost Boy Foundation of New York. Raised about, that organization became 501c3. I raised about $35,000 for the Lost Boys in Syracuse, New York, to be able to pay bills, like medical bills, or buy books, or pencils, or all the supplies that they need. And then from there, I ran it for a year, stepped down. Then I formed my second organization called American Care for Sudan Foundation. I called it American Care for Sudan Foundation because American took care of us. That became 501c3 too. And I raised more money. I said I want to build a clinic in my hometown, the village that where she is out from. And then I formed another organization called John Dow Foundation. And I ended up forming 6 non-profit organizations. I was able to, raise millions of dollars to end up building 16 clinics in South Sudan. There, right now, I am running only 6 clinics. I've been doing all this wonderful work. We have treated over 1.7 people that through these clinics. We help women give birth in a facility with a skilled nurse and a doctor, delivered about 35,000 children. We have fed over 2 million people. So the John Dow Foundation not only giving health services, but also giving nutrition to children that are malnourished, to mothers that are lactating, breastfeeding that are also malnourished. We give them food. We've been doing all of this counseling. We've been recruiting doctors in the United States to do eye surgery because many people blind. I think about 600 people that we restored their eyesight. We've been doing wonderful work in South Sudan. As we speak, I have about 111 employees that are there in South Sudan. The work that I've been doing really put me in contact with people like Angelina Jolie that have been supporting us, people like Brad Pitt. That I have 3 books out there. God Grew Tired of Us, The Lost Boy, Lost Girl, that my wife and we co-wrote. And my newest book, which has been shown to you today, I think, is called The Pillars of Wisdom. Those, talk about my, stories, folk tales there of South Sudan. Now, all the things that I've been doing put me in contact with people like Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama and we were given a word together. It's called Carrying a Word with late Colin Powell. All the things that I've been doing. I like to ask you a question. Here I am talking about my success. I have done this. Millions of these people been saved or supported. All the work that we've been doing. Really, do you think I'm here really to show off? I don't think so. I'm not here to show off. If you have been listening to the first part of my life story was very bad. Doing human urine to stay alive. I chew grass like a cow so I can survive. I buried many of my brothers and sisters at a very younger age. I, at some point, became like I'm their mom and dad, those young boys. I'm older than these two guys here. And so I have consumed things that I will never forget, my life story. But I did not give up. I have learned that in my journey, that the mind that have been stretched by experience, by tough life, by what you have faced in your life, difficulties, it stretch your mind. And that, it does not go back to its original. I've seen that this is a plus for me. It was okay to go through that. It helped stretch my mind. I also have learned that I try things many times. My father told me, try things 8 times, like a hunter. There was that hunter, a sharpshooter. His village was going through a drought. Nobody can cultivate anything. So he was this guy, sharpshooter, that go out and bring a gazelle to the community. One day he went there and hunt. He could not find anything. As he hunt, and he was about to give up, about in the evening, and then he sat under a tree. He was contemplating whether he will give up or continue. And he was thinking, and then something from the branch pulled down, pop. He looked at it, it was a lizard. And lizard went back, climbed back, this guy was looking at it, climbed back, and got to the branch and wanted to jump to the other branch to go and eat fruits. Miss it, pull down again, pop. And so lizard didn't give up, kept coming back, climbed back again. And lizard did it 7 times. And this guy was so amazed, why is this lizard is not giving up? And then the 8th time, the lizard went there and he said, that's it, I'm gonna go and hunt. And he went back again and found a gazelle, shot it, bring it home to feed his family and his village. Until the rain, and then the story went like that. My father told me, try 8 times. So to you today who are here, I have learned to try 8 times. Can you do that as well? I hope you can do that as well. Why is it try 8 times in your life? Life is very difficult. Each of you, if you come here and tell your story, it will definitely touch me. It will change me. But it's my turn to tell you my story. Try 8 times. I also learned that I will never, ever give up. You know, life here that all of us live here is very, very tough. Some of you here might have been here as orphan. You know, whether you are adults, maybe you're orphan. You don't have parents. Maybe you have been adopted. And you know what it is to be adopted. You go through things. Some people are very lucky, be adopted by, you know, but still, you still lack that, you still have that hole in you. Many of you have been taken care of, but you still have that hole in you. What I always say to people is, move on. Because you will never, ever take it back as it has never happened. So the solution is to move on, because you still have life ahead. No matter how old you are, you still lots of life ahead of you. So the best way is forget that and move on. Among you here, maybe there are some people that are sick, might have some diseases, something happened during COVID, Maybe some of your family members are no longer here. It's difficult. It's a life that each of you understand. Only you can understand that problem. But don't let it hold you back. Continue to push forward. Let it not anything that happened either in your relationship, happen at work, whatever it is, keep moving on. What I always do is, I know the problem. Problem is like a cylinder. Any problem is like a cylinder. So what you do is, don't stare at the problem. Turn around the cylinder and look at the other part that is exciting. The other part that is good, turn your cylinder. You have your cylinder, I have my own cylinder. Does not mean I'm not gonna think about the urine that I drink, all this kind of thing that I went through. I even lost parental care, all of us. These two guys here and me, we lost our parental care. Do we complain about it? I can complain as much as I want, but it will never do anything to me. So the best way is continue to move forward, because that is what is the only thing that is going to support me. The little part that you think is a little part that left is not little part. Move on and forget about looking back. What I didn't do when we were in the jungle is that's what we do. When somebody gave up, don't let somebody give up. I remember when people give up, they can't walk. Because they are so hungry, they can't move forward. And they said, no, I can't, I'm just gonna die here. You know what we do? We sing songs against them. We say, Aditpyo Jagola Kubirao Dalelo, which means, you this weak-hearted person, you can stay, die here, tomorrow we're gonna get food. That's what the song mean. You, the weakest person, you continue to be here, die, tomorrow, there will be milk, there will be everything. And this person said, no, I'm not the weaker heart person. I am a strong, and then pick himself or herself up and move forward. So to do that as well, do that with your family member. Try to say that, don't be a weak person. Continue to move forward. That's what we do, and that's what I have learned. I also learned that struggle and success is a package. If you want to succeed, you must struggle. As you can attest to whoever you know. But those guys, except few, but those guys that are successful, they struggle. So my point to you is success and struggle, it's a package. Thank you very much. God bless. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's time for you to ask any questions. I heard today that even if you speak at the back there, I can still hear you. That is wonderful. So raise your hand if you want to ask any questions. I'll be able to answer that question. Yes?
What happened to Abraham?
What happened to Abraham? Remember, Abraham is a guy that was my neighbor that I thought was my dad. So Abraham and I, we went to Ethiopia. And after that, Abraham, because he was an older man, so he was given remember the groups, 50 people, later each group 13 groups. We were 1,200 of us. So they picked one adult, or maybe sometime two, to become the parent of these 1,000. So Abraham was one of these adults. So later, we were not in one group, and then somehow we got up to Kenya, up to Kenyan border. And then Abraham went to the war. He went to fight. So when I came to United States here, I send money to him to buy cows so I can get married. So you can't get married to a beautiful girl unless you pay cows, known as dowry. Another question. Yes.
Did you ever find out what happened to your family?
Did I ever found out what happened to my family? Yes, I did. So when we came here and we were told that, remember, our church said, okay, so boys, do you want to write letters back to the refugee camp that you have arrived? Well, we said yes. And so we wrote letters. In my letter, I said, America is very good. Even girls are not holding guns, things like that. And so, wonderful place. And so we sent letters back to the camp. My letter made it to Uganda and to where my family were. My dad, my mom, my brothers, all of them were there. So they were in a in Ugandan refugee camp, and then they were given my letter that John is here. This is John. They didn't believe that I was. My mom, and you can see from the movie there, they didn't believe that I was there. But my older brother said, let me try anyway. Let me write to him. He said, my brother John, know that we are all here. We survived the war. So only our 2 uncles with their families were killed. But if you're not my brother John, disregard it, So I received that letter on October 18, 2001. That was beautiful. So I was able to, I went to my caseworker and I asked, look like it's true that my family is here, is there, and then we start doing the process. My mom didn't believe that I was until I have sent money to her. And she gave me some tests by saying, okay, if you are John, you're my son, how did we call you? What are your nicknames? So your mom gave you lots of nicknames there. Then I have to say those. And it's still not. And I said, Mom, who do you think a stranger can be sending you money like this, So, and then I was able to bring my mother and my younger sister to United States. My mom stays here. 4 years later, she said, no, it's too cold for her. So I took her back. She's right now in a place called Juba. My younger sister stayed here, got married here. She's raising a family in Dallas, Texas. So I was able to find my family. Another question.
What do you think was the most important to stay positive? What do you think was the most important thing to stay positive?
What do you think is the most important thing to stay positive or to keep you going? That's a very good question. 2, 1 is my culture. South Sudanese culture, for whatever reason, it's a culture of resilience. You don't give up. You stay positive. You continue to push forward. Because if you are known to be a weak person, most of the thing is about marriage too. So the guy that know me might not allow me later to marry to their sisters. So it's a culture of resilience. It's a culture of not giving up. You continue to fight and fight. So there was 1. 2 is because of my faith in the Lord. I'm not here to preach, but what I believe in God, and I knew all of this it's a plan from God, hurting me to be stronger. When you're doing transplanting, for those who are farmers, you know what transplanting means. You transplant a seedling. When it rain, of course, when it is crowded in one place, another, So when you're doing transplanting, you just don't transplant. You cut their, here, the thing you cut the top off, And then you let the plant stay there for some time. Because so what you're doing, you are doing hardening. You're making it, hey, you're going to go in a hardship. So what I'm doing it to you, you gotta, and then later you transplant the plant to a new place. And that plant is going to survive. So I knew this was the hardening that was done to us. God is preparing us for a mission, tougher mission, which I didn't know what was that. But I have faith, and I knew so I stay positive that I know I'm going through this because I'm being trained, I'm being hardened up, I'm being made stronger through that. If you read the book of Isaiah 18, the South Sudanese believe that is them. It's talking about Isaiah 18 from chapter 1 to the end. It talk about God is going to punish people of Cush. These are tall, dark-skinned, and their country is divided into two by rivers. Okay, so if you think about that, we are the tallest, we are the dark-skinned, our land is divided into two. The Ethiopian here are not very tall and dark-skinned. The Arab there are not very tall and dark-skinned. We are. So in there it said, these are my people. I have chosen them, but I have to help them go through things like this. We're going to read it later. And then their bodies will be food for the bird in the autumn, and bodies is food for the bird in the summer, things like that. But then later, I'm going to bring them back together, and I'm going to make them strong. So we believe in that. I believe in that. It is, actually, God knows why we're going through this. So I'm not going to give up. I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to continue to push forward. That is what we have been doing. And so most of the time, every time when we are moving, going from one place to another, we sing song. For example, pray to God and say, Bandit chowo chojil na thie, gam yum de pyo kudar, cho wet cho near de wet do ye wot yam yeg dang da nyai, e dang da nyai te te worori. What it means is that the Lord, now that we are going to leave, guide us with your spirit as we are going through this wilderness. Take away our fatigue and protect us from something that's going to harm us. That's what song means. You read my book, you could find it there as well. So we say that song, continue to move. So literally, we know we are going with the Lord, and there is a mission that we're being prepared. Thank you for that question. Somebody else? Yes. Oh, Rita, welcome. Thank you, Rita, for coming. And thank you. Rita have been supporting the lost boys and lost girls here in Arizona. I'm glad, it's an honor to meet her. Your question is, I think you guys have heard, there is a rise of discrimination in this country against Jewish, against black, and so on. And that's what that the question is. So when we came here, I have this mentality of saying this, and I'm not naive, that it is not what somebody do to me that will make me bad. It is how I respond. That guides me in everything that I do. It's not what somebody do to me that make me bad. It is how I respond. So I hope that people may use that strategy. When we got here, there was no any terrible discrimination than what we went through in our own country. We're being discriminated and almost also handed down to be killed that is the most dangerous one. Like I said, I'm not naive here. There may be all these things going on in this country. But for me, for us, those who came to this country, what we went through was our cushions from which we overcome adversity. And so I would also urge people here, that's what humans are. The best way to do that, I can't change the system, I can't change what somebody is doing to me, but I can change how I can deal with it. That's what I would say. Yes, there may be discrimination. It could be back and forth as well. In our country, we're all black. We were all black, but we were actually mistreating ourselves, we're killing each other based on tribals, affiliations, and things like that, and religious, all of those is all around the world. The best way to do it as individual is to take what I say. It's not what somebody do to me that will make me bad. It's how I respond to it. Be strong. Whoever going to say something to me, I say something back to them. You know, I don't want to accept to be a victim at all. You know, only accept to be a victim when I can't really do anything at that time when I was young. But at this point right now, none. Nobody can make me to be a victim. I'm going to push back as well. Because this country is my country, it's your country, it's our country, you know. So that's what I do. Thank you for your question, reader. Somebody else, yes?
Two questions.
Yes.
What do you see?
What do you see about the future of South Sudan, whether also if I would like to consider to run for something in South Sudan? The future of South Sudan is very difficult at this point. There is things going on. Tribe is killing another tribe. Bigger, tougher, stronger guys are also, crushing other weaker one. I mean, it's very difficult in our country. I however, thinks any country that gain independence, young country, they go through tough time. United States in the 1700s, when it kicked British out in this country went through things. There were many, about 3 currencies were operating in this country. The Canadian dollars, the US dollars, the peso, Mexican money, and British pound were operating in America. This country was having some militias as well. There was some, even Hamilton, who was the Secretary of Finance, I think. He, also, doing these feuding thing that you guys, we call a stupid American game, where you shoot at each other. You call it feuding? Duel. Duel. We call it stupid American game. Because people are there, and they say, shoot me, if you kill me, okay, but if you miss me, I kill you too. That's not good. These things were happening in this country as well, and they were allowed. Why? Why they weren't allowed? I mean, to allow people to do that as well. And even, remember, Jefferson was actually, including with the foreign government to kick out John Adams. I think, he was the vice president at the time. So any country that is a new country will go through things like that. Okay, they go through things like that, and then America smoothen up, and actually, it's still not arrived to a right, but it's okay now, it's getting there. I do think South Sudan, at some point, it may go through that. He's going through that right now. It just maybe need not a younger generation, a different generation of leadership that are trained, that people like Kual, people like Jan, people that are trained, that can come up and pick up from where these guys are leaving it. The general that liberate the country are dying off right now. Almost all of them are going. So the best way is to bring new leadership and so on. For myself, I'm not seeing myself running for anything at all. The Almighty God have selected me to be doing this thing I'm doing, save life for the people. That should be actually what the government should do. Make life easy for people, bring, mild spaces in the people, reduce their problem. The burden that they are carrying, reduce it. I'm doing that right now through the John Dow Foundation, through my humanitarian work. And I said, Lord, if that is what you want me to do, I will continue to do that until I die. Because it has a meaning to it. Nobody corrupting it. I don't see the Nuer and the Dinka and the Anuak and the Murle and the whatever. I serve them all. That is the best things. And I say, so you help me, God. That's what I do. I'm not sure I'm going to run, because once I start running or doing something, then there is these evil things that we, the politicians, are going to go through it. They don't like one part of the country. They like one part of the country. Like what is happening now with the Democrat and the Republican. Some don't like one part of the others don't like that. Why? These are American, need the same things. Maybe I'm naive. That's how I look at things. Another question, maybe at the back. Yes. Okay. So the first one, where did I meet my wife, right? Yeah. Okay. I met my wife, my beautiful wife. One day, I was in a high school in Kakuma refugee camp. Kual was in another school. I was in a different school. One day I was going home. There was no road. There's a pass. And I was so tired. I'm going home. And there were two guys. Martha, my wife, was ahead of these two guys. So these guys were just going and then kicked dust onto my wife's feet, my later wife's feet, and then just kicked dust. And I said, why? So I took a notice of them. I said, why these guys are doing this to a girl? And then keep doing that dust. So what Martha did, Martha stepped out of the way and let these two naughty guys going. And I say, and then brought Martha to be right in front of me. And I say, wow, that is wonderful South Sudanese lady. I like her, So I was following her. I said, you know what? I'm going to know where she lived. So we were going, and then it came to be my turn to leave, and then I said, no, I'll keep going. So I kept going. I'll follow her until we got there, and then she touched into their home. And I said, okay, this is their home. I'm going to come tomorrow, So tomorrow, the next day, I think a few days later, I came and stand there. So the way you date girls in South Sudan is different from what you do here. So you come from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. That's the only window of time you come and stand there. People will know that guy is looking for girls. So you are admitted and then stay there, and that's what I did. I came with my cousins and say, I found such a wonderful girl here. They all came, and then we start introducing myself, how, she seemed to be such a wonderful person and so on. And then dating start, go home. So you don't go out with somebody, girl, no. You just come and date and then go home and talk and then go home. Talk and then go, just talking. Until then, Martha, was given a chance to come to Washington State. 8 months later, I came to New York. And you know what love means. No matter how far you are, you kind of track her down. And I track her down, and then the rest was history. So I was able to do dowry and marry her. So that is that. Okay, climate change. What is my opinion on climate change? So the climate change that is, right now as we speak, there is a section part, Kual County, in South Sudan. It was devastated from 2019 to now. That area was wiped out by flood. The River Nile overflow, and then wiped this county out. Nobody is actually there right now. It became where the fishes are, or where the hippos and other animals there. It affected South Sudan. We asked, what is this? People say it's climate change, because we never had something like that. And so we said, if this is a climate change, this is terrible. And we gotta have to find a way. Right now, these guys in this county, they don't know where to go. Part of my county also wiped out too. So yes, I think there is that going there. What is that brought water to destroy these villages? So I don't want to, I think there's an issue there. If this is the climate, because climate is changing, absolutely, it could be that. So now I think maybe something must be done to correct that problem. This Tuch County, people, I don't know when are they going to go to that, because nobody can live there anymore. It destroyed all the trees that were there, that historical to that land. If Kwal go right now, I don't know whether he's going to know where his home used to be. So it is very, very bad there. It hit us. And so if that is the climate change, that's terrible. Or if that is whatever it was, but if it is climate change, then I believe there is climate change right there. If it was a phenomenon, or whatever phenomenon is, why did that not happen before? So completely, I think the way it was explained to us, they said it's climate change, and I do believe it is climate change that destroy these communities. Question? Yes. Good. Esther is from South Sudan, and she's saying she's so proud what we are doing as this generation, and she's asking, well, of course, her mom as well, from my generation, I think, and she's asking, what message do I have for younger South Sudanese that might be here in the United States or across the world? What I would say, Esther, is what I said in the movie. Culture, so when you come to places like this, don't give up your culture. Very important. There are other parts of your culture that you got to get rid of. For example, in our culture there, we are polygamists, South Sudan. I've been telling younger people here, polygamists have no place in the United States. Don't ever practice it. You get a beautiful woman, that's a beautiful woman that you can, well, of course, there may be other problems, but it's still there, don't, it's the one that you can stay, and if you want to change, then maybe you can, whatever you can do, change, and to only one, So that is the bad part of our culture. We need to get rid of that. Another part of American culture that you may not really look through American culture things. For example, I'll give you an example. Because I've been telling to young people, there is this sort of a culture in America, somebody wearing a pant dropping and you can see underwear. Why you want to see underwear? I mean, you want to go naked, you just go naked. Why are you showing us? I'm not interested in your underwear, Maybe that's American culture too, I don't know. But I see that it's not acceptable. So don't take that. I've been telling young guys, don't do it. No, not acceptable. That is that. Respect is very important. As a younger person, you respect your elders. Elders will respect you back. First, it's not elders respect you first. You respect elders, they will do the same to you. Okay? Very important. We work hard. Talk about being weak before. Work harder. Persevere. Because if you don't persevere, you're not going to achieve anything. It is through perseverance that you can achieve what you want to do. The road to the success is not smooth. It's very rough. Very, very rough. Sometimes you feel like, what am I doing? I mean, is that important? Have you ever fly? Sometimes you fly. I mean, some of you that fly, and there was something new for us to fly. And so when we fly, we go through this cloud and bumpy road, whatever it is, but there is a blue sky on the other side. There is always blue sky for you. No matter how bumpy your life is in this country, for whatever reason, remember, there's also blue sky, your blue sky on the other side. I was talking to a class today, I was talking about a story of a person that climbing a mountain, a steep mountain. And it was difficult. The team could not get to the top of the steep mountain. And so they all failed, could not go there. All what I say to you is, in your life, there's always steep mountain. So what you need to do is look for a way you can get on the top. If it needs you to go in zigzag, do it. Go that way, go the other way, until you get to the top. Look for ways you can overcome your problem as a young person. Last, this country is like any other country, where you have, like one question that was asked before by a reader, people don't treat you well. That is not only to United States. You go to Canada, they treat you that way. You go to South Sudan too, they treat you same thing, even if you are a South Sudanese. All what you have to do is don't accept being victim. Continue to move forward. Don't let whatever somebody say bring you down. Because you're going to continue to cry and stay there, and people are moving forward. You don't matter. You know, you want to continue to stay there and cry and don't want to move anything, you're not going to affect them. Continue to move, pick yourself up, move forward. That's what I would say to you young people. Another question. Yes. Another South Sudanese? Oh, Josephina, the one that Rita, you said you're going to come with. Oh, Josephina, welcome. Thank you, Josephine. So she's asking for those South Sudanese gave birth here or became parent here, United States, what is advice that I can give to them to deal with their children? One thing, let me explain a little bit to my friend Americans. In South Sudan, or in the camp, there was major problem that we all face. And that was lack of something to eat, or we didn't have enough thing to have. So the biggest problem everybody was facing is how to feed your family just typical food. I mean, it was very difficult. In the camp, there were these days that you go without food. We call them black days. Black days because nobody cooking and no fire in the camp. And so that was very tough. And so everyone knows that. Now, when we came to United States, the land of abundance, we supply things to our children, we give them things, give them this, give them that. But what we were not prepared is the mental issue part. We think we are providing. We men, we think we are providing. What are the kids doing? And I'm actually working hard. I'm bringing food. There's a house for them, and there is this for them. I give them right, and so on. We, the parent, South Sudanese parent, we wonder why our kids are not doing well. Yet we are providing everything. But what we did not know is you cannot raise a child on just these things you provide. That's what not make you a man or make you a father. What make you a father is all of the above. It's all of the above. What make you a mother too is all of the above in this country. One, it is all that you are providing. Children don't feel that. Food, place to sleep, children don't feel that. There are things that they feel. Care for them, show them love, take them to things, that they can get involved. Make sure you understand their feeling. The kid would say, you don't understand. That is true, we don't understand. But also we're trying to understand what is that bothering them? Why are they not doing well in school? Why are they not catching up like other kids? Because there is something that we're not doing. You see, these Americans, the moment they give birth to these kids, they start training them to something. They help them and allow them to really fail and then follow them. You see them that we South Sudanese, we're so protective, and then we spoil kids. They're not prepared for this rough road in this country. So those are the things we don't see. We think we are giving them all the things they need, that we think they need in Africa, but the kid don't see that. So being absent in the upbringing of your children, the biggest problem that we have here, we South Sudanese. Nobody trained us, because we are actually starting our families on our own. In South Sudan, if you get married, you are not on your own. Your mom is there, your dad is there, uncle is there, auntie is there. Every community members are there to help you. Now, I do think if you have children now, you're dealing with children alone in this place called house, inside here. They don't go out. So let's try to do that. Let's try to control them and then make sure these bad company is another problem too. Start as young as you are. If you think there is the bad, group that your children might get involved into it, take them somewhere. Put them in. I know some you may not afford to put them in some sport kind of things. Go to church. Go to synagogue. Go to mosque, if there is one here, wherever you can help. Those are the little things that if we do those, then we will be able to bring up our. Now you here, if you are in Phoenix here, around Phoenix area, Qual is running a center. It's called Lost Boys Center. They have activities, basketball there. They have a swimming pool there. They have dancing place that you can dance. Kuala is doing such a wonderful, and Mr. Jan here, they're doing such a wonderful work here, and we're not using it. Sometimes we feel like, why is he wanting our children here? Is he getting something from it? No, it won't help your children. So you guys are blessed. There's no Lost Boys Center in anywhere in across the United States, but there is here in Arizona. And so these are resources that you would definitely going to help. I know there are no uncles here, there are no aunties that can help, but if you are with somebody like Rita, of course Rita now in such, but these are the things you could do. Children are not brought up with only food. They need other things as well. The problem of Lost Boys, not just only problem of Lost Boys, also to the other Americans, young families as well. So whatever being faced by the Lost Boy families, also being faced by the American families as well. The only difference is the support group. In the American side, there are support group. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you have mom and dad or others, then you have a support group. Plus, you know the culture. Parent, like a father and mom in America, they know American, and maybe they have been brought up that way. So that we, the South Sudanese, in the other hand, they are not being brought up that way. The only thing they know is the collective cultural, support group that if they were in South Sudan, they would have gotten that. And so that is the big problem that we have. The only thing that I would have, there is no silver bullet that you can come up with to solve the problem. What you gotta have to do is becoming creative. Use Qual center here. These two guys are running a center. Use that as well. Console other people. Maybe you console the other American may not really know, because when you are consulting, when you are talking to somebody, trying to help somebody, that person must know your culture first, because it's about culture. It's about how do I advise you. You have done that, reader. You've done it, and sometimes you feel like you can't really do it the best way you would like to do it. Why? Because then there is the gap, the cultural gap between you and them, that you cannot trying to figure out what is that I'm not doing well. I left my job, I'm doing this, what is that I'm not doing well? What is that you're not doing is the culture part. You know, that's the best way I can talk to a reader. I mean, Josephina. There's a way maybe that I could talk to Josephina than the way you could talk to her. Quali is here and Jan are here as resources. They may help. So don't stay away from them too. They may help you in that way. So again, it's all something touching all of us. Whether you are a South Sudanese family or so, the only maybe American have age a little bit because we are in their culture, and you gotta have to live it as young as you can. If you live it as young as you can, then you can then pick up very quickly and you can solve issues. American society, I mean, they have their problem. Kids are in jail. Some kids are not doing very well. Suicide and drugs and all of this kind of thing. It is all going on across families, regardless whether you are American or South Sudanese. But the best way is just become creative. There's a way you can do it, help your children, move them away from bad influence that might be there. If you allow them, I know taking care of 5 children, you see, that's why Americans are only giving birth to only 2 or 1. Others decide not to do it, you know, because it's tough to raise a child. This country should support them as well, you know, because these are the future workers. Who's going to pay your tax, government? These people. So if you don't support them, nobody's going to grow up and support you. The back, yes. It's when Mia worked hard to, and the department, to bring me here, one thing that she said is diversity. I mean, and so trying to bring, in my understanding is the diversity does not mean the color of my skin, it means the diversity of ideas, you know, of some ideas that might be different from what Mather Community College or the society have here. I'm not here to really do that, to certify that, but I trying to do. Again, it all goes back to the idea of victimization, that I am victim. When you start to accept being victim there, of course, sometimes that might happen. But when you start to accept to being a victim, you're not going to move anywhere because you keep circling around. They did this to me. Why they did it to me? Why did they pick on me? Why did this system do it to me? Then you start doing that, then you're not going to get out. You're going to run into this circle of blaming and start blaming. I try myself to try to blame. And I said, so what am I doing now? This blaming is not going to give me anything. So let pick myself up and do what I need to do. So no way I can change what you're going through it. It is you who can accept it. This is holding me down. Once you're thinking about problem, you're the one. There's a story of this teacher. I mean, I know you guys have been staying here. There's this wonderful teacher gave assignment to her student. He said, tomorrow, come with tomatoes. Come with tomatoes. And then the students say, how many tomatoes, teacher? I said, if you have grudges against somebody, like 4 people, bring 4 tomatoes. 5, bring 5. 10, bring 10. 30, bring 30. Which means if you have grudges against some people, bring it. People say, the kids say, yeah, I'm going to do it. And they all came back the next day with their backpack full with tomatoes. And then they work and they work and they work and then teaching and so on. It's time, bell rang. And the students say, so teacher, what about tomatoes? And say, no, go with them, come back tomorrow. Okay, the kid went back with them. And they came back the next day. And then, so the teacher been sort of doing that and until the bell rang and then they'd go back. And teacher did it up to like 4 times, in a week, 4 days. On Friday, and these kids say, tomatoes are getting rotten, the smell is stinky, all of it so heavy, others are carrying 30 of them, others are carrying 10, and so on. And then the kids say, teacher, if you don't want to do this tomatoes project thing here, I don't want to take them. Okay, the teacher said on Friday, said, okay, all right, tomatoes, project, bring them out. And the kids said, here you go. I don't want tomatoes anymore. And the teacher said, okay, all rotten, put them in the can, garbage can. And teacher said, how was it? Kids said, no, I don't like it. I said, that's what it is. When you're holding grudges, you are the one actually going to suffer. You are the only person going to suffer. The person you think you hold grudges against are even free. They don't even think about that. But you're holding these baggages of tomatoes. Every time you're thinking about that, you're holding tomatoes and getting rotten and stinky and bad. That's what you do when you're holding grudges. To me, I'm not against Arab. I'm not against Muslims. I'm not holding that because I know if I keep holding it, what am I going to do? I'm the one going to suffer the most. So in your life, don't hold grudges because there will be your rotten tomatoes. Thank you, guys. God bless.